Hello and welcome to this week's casual review. I'm Fred. If you are a new viewer, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. This week we're talking about The Quarry, which we played back in December of 2023. In fact, this particular review commentary, as it were, is being recorded on December 15th, 2023. Hence why you see the Christmas tree flashing in the background there. So, with that all out of the way, the Quarry is, of course, I a perfect way to describe it is your a choose your own adventure style game. You get to play as multiple characters, most of whom are actually likable, with the exception of one, maybe two, in a simple survive the night horror experience. A bunch of campers at Camp Hackett are stranded because one of them, Jacob, sabotaged a van on the day that they were supposed to be leaving, all because he wants to try and get back with the girl who made it clear to him that it's just a summer fling. Unfortunately, the Hackett family are cursed. Several members are turned into werewolves, and thus it's a night of survival, suspense, horror, slight romance, and thrills, chills, and just all in all, a great game. This game is from the same people who made Until Dawn, which I've also played, and I could easily do a casual review of that game. Um, uh, and it's because I played that first, it made me very interested in playing The Quarry when it came out in 2022, which I did. You can actually find my playthrough of that here on my YouTube channel, in addition to the more recent playthrough. Uh, One thing that definitely stands out to me about this game, number one, you got some top-notch acting from everybody. Even David Arquette actually puts on a good performance, although you don't really see Arquette for more than just like a few scenes, but he does a very serviceable job. Everything plays out as you would in a very much an elongated horror movie. If you cut down a lot of the gameplay elements, you probably would have a solid horror movie, particularly if you leaned into more like this the typical tropes of everyone being a jerk, and you just want to see how many of these characters can get the chopping block. But one thing that is the strength of the Quarry, particularly over Until Dawn, is that with the exception of Jacob, generally everyone else is likable. Dylan, my favorite character, straight out, is Dylan. There's no qualms about it. It's like Dylan is my favorite character. He's definitely has a cool vibe about him, even though he's only involved in just a few. Gets to be featured as the character you get to play as only a few times, but his total vibe and everything is just it just clicks. Caitlin is also very likable, as is Emma, and then you kind of have like the rest were mostly tolerable to somewhat likable to various degrees there. But and Laura is also pretty damn cool too when you get this for her backstory and everything that she went through, and how she comes across as a complete badass when you meet her about halfway through the story, or a little over halfway through the story actually. If there is some drawback to the Quarry, and I'm going to make this commentary about well, I can say this about both versions, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox series versions of the game, is that the quick time events can be take a little bit long to indicate what you need to press to the trigger to make sure you complete the individual events as smoothly as possible. Some felt like they were revealed a little bit too slowly, making me want to guess. So that's a bit of a drawback there. Like you have to almost like watch it and wait till like the last minute to get an idea of what motion to make on the analog sticks there. I do kind of wish they were like limited to just one analog stick. Having them on two make things a little bit difficult, particularly if you have a controller that is suffering from stick drift, which on the first night of my 2023 playthrough of this game, I was actually dealing with, where it's like things were being triggered almost automatically because I had stick drift on one controller there. So that's there. That in and of itself is some advice to play. If you're going to play the Quarry, make sure your controllers are in good condition, or that you're having no issues, no stick drift at all with them, because otherwise your controller will be making decisions for you when you're trying to ponder which choice to make at times. Very limited combat. You do get a weapons and the choices to fire and like the aim and shoot at different times. And there is a lot of callbacks in this game. Simple things like early on, you can have the choice of breaking into a cabin to get the bags for Emma and Abigail. And there's an item there, a stuffed bunny, that can be very important towards the end of the game on how you keep Caitlin and Dylan, if you smartly keep Dylan alive. Plays out there. Yeah, I just a lot of fun. You also, if you stream the Quarry, you do have like the general was it the choice to switch from the licensed music to alternate tracks. Although those for whatever reason still get flagged on YouTube and causes some havoc. And but what are you gonna what music doesn't get flagged on YouTube for one reason or another? So that that kind of is what it is there. Does the Quarry have replayability? Absolutely. Not just if you just go through it once on a single playthrough, you will have you will come across various collectibles, and you can go back to individual chapters to try and find the ones that you missed. I think it's chapter 3. I want to say chapter 2 or chapter 3, where you would actually get a choice on which path to take, and there are collectibles unique to each individual path there. So, and there's some that are kind of easy to miss. But generally, you can walk around most areas and find almost everything you need to find over the course of your playthrough, and then you can go back and find the ones you miss. But don't start a new playthrough uh, thinking your collectibles will carry over to a new playthrough. They don't. You got to go do the chapter select to go back and get the collectibles that you miss. And then once you ensure that you got all the collectibles, then do a new playthrough. At least that is my advice. All right, that is my advice on that regard. Let's see. Anything else we want to talk about here? If there, matter of fact, there is one big drawback, and I'm looking at it now. This game is presented in a letterbox format, which does take a lot of it. It is a bit of a drawback. I am not sure if that's because they wanted this game to be played on like a 16 by 10 display, but on a 16 by 9 monitor, and having the two like letterbox on the top, and those two black bars on the top and bottom of the screen is like it's for me it's kind of distracting. I do wish you could like turn that on or off. Um, 'Cause it's a bit of a drawback there. I get why it's done that way. Um, the Evil Within, the first game, is kind of, I believe, if memory serves me right, is kind of presented in that same format as well. I think it's been nearly 4 years since I've played that game. But I think Until Dawn also has that weird choice too. Like I don't understand why games want to put it like that. I understand. I actually I do. Is like you want to have it in a cinematic format, like the transition from the gameplay into the cutscenes without it being jarring to anything. Um, but at the same time, it's if you're making a game, it's going to be on a 16 by 9 display. Generally, it's going to be featured on the TVs, monitors, displays that are going to be 16 by 9, use that space. All right. It's, again, that's just my general opinion there. So with that said, if you played the Quarry, what are your thoughts on it? Put them in the comment section below. I would say like, comment, subscribe, but I generally don't do that when I go on other people's channels. So it's, again, but if you want to, that would be neat. If you would be so kind, but you don't have to. I'm presenting the option to you. Besides, if I don't present the option and everything, YouTube actually sends out warnings. It's just like, increase your engagement. Tell them to like, comment, subscribe. It's like, I'm doing it. I'm just doing it begrudgingly. So, so again, tighten your friendship bracelets, stay safe, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.